Mississippi State, playing really well. Coach Levy's done a great job there. They're in every game and playing extremely hard. Have a lot of speed on their team, a lot of talent. Their quarterback's playing well. I like their runners. They have a couple of good running backs. Their offensive line, Coach Kennedy's got those guys playing much better. Talented at wide receiver. I know they had an injury to number 7. I don't know what his status is, but they have a lot of speed. Coleman is an exceptional player. Defensively, I like their linebacker group. They really run to the ball. It starts with Mitchell and then Blanton and then Smith. Do a lot of things defensively to confuse you in third down, all the way from total all-out blitz to drop 8. But the looks are who are the 6 guys going to rush. So we have to be on top of that. Have a nice punter. Obviously, Coleman's a punt returner. Kickoff returners, the 2 guys in the backfield. So, we know the Cowbells will be rolling and have a lot of respect for their football team and excited to go play a early game over in Starksville.
Coach, how about just a feel for the last 20 minutes of the game? Afterwards, when you look back, you're right there. You're down by 6, and it seemed like maybe the energy fell off. What did you think about it?
Well, it would, with the turnover on the 1. 16-10, 5 minutes left in the game. I don't know that we felt like we played particularly well to that point. We couldn't get off the field on third down, couldn't stop the hitch route, couldn't stop the option route. They were running the ball well on us, but we had made some adjustments there. We basically were what we thought at half, coming back out and getting it to a 1-score game, which it was really good to see Shipley make the 51-yarder. We held them, had the ball, 5 minutes left, 16-10. Every one of our turnovers were on possession and 10, the first play, which then puts the defense right back out there. Big momentum swing on that particular play, and we just couldn't recover from it.
Just looking at that play again, did you notice anything different than you did after the game?
Well, there's 2 things there. We had an opportunity to hand the ball off. We didn't, and we had an opportunity to block the Will linebacker, which he was in the well, and he walked out, and we should have turned out to him. So there was 2 mistakes made on that play that accounted for the turnover.
What has Mississippi State done offensively with the freshman quarterback that's kind of – they're scoring points on people.
Well, they're wide open. They have a mixture of playing fast. Of course, we had KB here, and he's in that tree of Levy and obviously his daddy. And so they're wide open. I tell you what they're doing. If you press them, they're going to throw it on. They're going to throw deep. And they're connecting on those plays. They've got speed at wideout, so that their quarterback is throwing Van Buren. He's throwing some. He can throw the deep ball. The other thing is they're running the stretch in the inside zone very, very well. Their 2 backs run extremely hard, and then the quarterback can make plays with his feet. They're not necessarily wanting to run him, I don't feel like, a bunch, because he slides every time. A running quarterback, most of the time he just runs, but he's elusive in the pocket. They're just playing with a great deal of energy. You can just feel it on the film by the sidelines, the way that they're excited on the sideline. And so they're running the ball well enough, and their quarterback gives them opportunities there to scramble and make some plays, and he's throwing the ball really well.
Two-part question. What all has Jaquindon Jackson meant to your team this year? What's the importance of having him this season? And then what's an update on him?
Well, he's been beat up. basically in SEC play. You know, we haven't rushed the ball well. He's been beat up a little bit there. Early in the year was exceptional when he was healthy. His health status probably very questionable for Saturday's game. But he's been a strong guy for us, and we hopefully we can get him back. But I'd say it's questionable this week.
I guess you mentioned Kudus maybe being back for the rest of the season. Or just maybe what are some of the challenges?
What'd you say at first? I'm sorry.
Kudus.
I know. What'd you say at the beginning?
You mentioned post game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Kudus maybe being back. What are maybe some of the challenges of just phasing in, a new lineman at this point in the season?
Well, I think the moving Harris to tackle helped us. I do. I think that will help us in the long run as well. Kudus, that was my biggest concern, is a good question. He had 2 weeks of practice before this game, before LSU. And so it's almost like he's had not necessarily the same type of practice that you would have for 2 days for camp, but he had 2 full practices there, to the point that we thought that he would be ready Saturday, and we told him that if needed, we were going to play him. Obviously, we're trying to redshirt him if we can, which means we're going to get four games out of him. So he'll be ready to go, and it'll depend on the week of practice he has, whether he'll start for us or not. But I believe that he's fully healthy and ready to go.
I was going to ask you a little bit about that too. What did you think of, after rewatching it, what the offensive line did, and specifically Marion on the edge?
We've got to play a lot better there. We're playing some good rush ends. I mean, we are. We have. I mean, it seems like every week somebody's got. Some of them's got all 4 of them. Some of them's got, but everybody's got to show enough, at defense as well as we do. But I thought the move with Harris was something that is going to help us. I thought he did a good job. What he is, he's athletic enough, if he gets out of position, they can run him around the pocket. And even the one where the guy hit, Taylor's arm, he was back there about 11 yards deep. Taylor, he'll step up on that. And so I think that helped us. With that, obviously, with Blackstock moving on the inside, there was a little bit of transition there that I think he'll be better this week, and we'll let him and Kudus kind of fight that out a little bit. But I think it worked out pretty good. Last year we went over to Ole Miss, and we had changed centers, Trey, if you remember. We had changed the offensive line a little bit, and we went right down the field and scored. But on the headsets, I'm going, we ain't blocked damn nobody. But we scored, and I said, we've got to get this figured out, because they were moving on us and all that. And we ended up during the game changing back to changing back. I think it was we moved not Brady, but Bo back to center. I didn't feel that way during this game. I felt like what we had done was the right move going forward.
What are your thoughts on Taylor? It seems like, starting with Tennessee, maybe he just decided he's going to hang in there and throw. I don't know. He's throwing the ball better than he did when he was had a couple of games at 40% and stuff. What is it about him that's changed in your opinion?
I think his confidence is growing in the offense. He's brand new too. Of course, all of them are, but that quarterback position here, playing for Bobby, is very, very difficult. But it's also very, very rewarding once you figure it all out, and for your future going to the NFL, all that kind of stuff. So I think he's becoming more comfortable there. I think we're protecting him a little bit better than what we were early in the year. And I believe he's getting a little more confidence in where his wideouts are going to be. He's throwing the ball a little bit faster than what he did before. And the hanging in the pocket, as you referenced, I think has a little bit more to it. He's got a little bit more confidence in the guys. And we're running a little bit more empty protection as well, and I thought he did a really good job with his hots coming off because they were basically blitzing to our man side. Well, in other words, away from where the center was sliding, which means we have to squeeze down on 1-2. And he saw that really well, got the ball out of his hand. Our problem really, we've got to quit turning the football over, and we got to score in the red zone, and that's things that have plagued us this year offensively. We're aware of that, and we're trying to fix it. But those could change a game or two. Not necessarily, I don't think, Saturday. Saturday was a different deal. I thought LSU was very, very – I think LSU's – to me, they're the best team that we've played to this point because of the way that their quarterback is playing. And but at the same time, we're 16-10 in the 5 minutes in the third. We have the opportunity to win the game, and then it went south on us there with the one play. But to answer your question, I think he's doing that because of confidence, and I think he has confidence in his line and the receivers where they're at.
Got another injury question for you. Just noticed Jaylen Braxton's not on the depth chart anymore. Does that mean you're just not feeling like he'll be available for a while?
Yes, I don't think he'll be available. Not the rest of the year. I just think it would be at least after the second bye.
Following up on that, the hitch routes are something that your defense has played well most of the season, but that has been kind of an opening for other offenses. How much has Jaylen maybe not being there played a part in that susceptibility, I guess?
I think some, obviously. When your quarterback, they had 2 sacks coming into the game, still have 2. But that means you're getting protected. Now, why? Well, the ball's getting out. That's a bunch of it. They've got good tackles as well. But, they double moved Hud when he was in there, I think, 3 times. Got him once. But they couldn't double move the other guys because we're so far off of them. There was no reason. Just turn around, and that was frustrating. But I think our kids gave their receivers the respect that they deserve, but we cannot let people throw the hitch route out there for 8 and 10 yards. It's just like playing catch. So we've got to correct that as well. The problem with us, we couldn't stop the run, and then so they had and/or on us, and then you saw when the second half a little bit more, we were stopping the run at least early, not that last drive. It was as disappointing drive as we've had on us defensively. But once we started stopping the run, then we were able to play the hitch a little bit faster, and they weren't throwing the hitch necessarily on 3rd and 10, and so it helped us. So it kind of all works hand in hand. We know what we have, and we've got to figure it out on how to stop those hitch routes, and I think we will.
What'd you make of Hudson Clark's first, a lot of snaps there at outside cornerback last week?
Well, I think he's earned the right to start for us. Played a lot of ball out there. Like I said, he got beat on a double move, but he didn't the other times, and I think he's a smart player. He cares. He cares about the university and playing for the Razorbacks, and he's got speed, and I'm proud of him, and I think he'll just get better and better. And he's tough. I think his back's still hurting him a little bit.
Coach, going back to the run game with Jaquinden and his status. You have Rodney Hill. What does that look like? But then when you put DeBinion in there and Braylon Russell, just how do you hope that they can kind of compensate for what Jaquinden won't be able to do if he's not out there?
Well, I trust all of them, but I think let's saddle up Braylon Russell. Let's go. I think he's ready to go. I've already met with him this morning, called him in and said, hey, man, you want it, go take it. And I think he's a really good player. I think he needs some confidence. We've got to get him rolling, to me, early in the game. But I believe wholeheartedly in him. Rodney is a guy that we need back because he brings that toughness, that tough running to us. And it's hurt us not to have him, to be honest with you. And then, unfortunately, we had the fumble with R-Dub. He's got to get over that. We believe in him, and obviously he came back in the game. But we're going to be down to those three, and then of course, Reed. And Reed's done well in practice too. But to me, give the ball to Braylon, let him go to work, and see if he can't run it several times. To me, because he's a big man, hard to bring down, and a good player. So young doesn't mean you can't be good. And we're going to turn around and let the horse eat a little bit.
Coach, you mentioned with Kudus you'd like to redshirt him. Could that also be at play for Jaylen Brazon?
Yes. Yeah. A little bit different because Jaylen can't play. I mean, we probably could have played Kudus maybe. I don't know if he would have been quite ready there, but we probably could have Saturday. Braxton we cannot. So, but as you're looking at it, Jaylen will have 2 games left, and I don't see him really being able to come back until we have at least 3 regular season games left, and then we would have to make a decision at that point.
Is he still dealing with the tendonitis?
It is. Well, no, his is more of a leg injury, and I'll just leave it at that.
And we also saw Miguel Mitchell for the first time this past weekend. Just what did you make of his performance?
Well, he played 15 snaps, liked it. I believe he'll play more. So I was pleased to see him out there, and I thought he played well for his first time out, and I think he's earned right to play more.
Sam, a couple of Mississippi State questions. Van Buren, he really got thrown into the fire. I can't remember the game where
3, I think.
Yeah, and now he's starting, and you talked about his physical traits. Just how about the poise he's shown? I mean, I know Kirby didn't mean to hit him, but that was kind of a wild play on the sideline a couple games ago, and the kid didn't seem bothered by that. I mean, he just seems like he's pretty mature. And I know you don't coach him, but what's your take on him?
Well, he is what you just said. He's very, very poised back there. I'll tell you what, now he made I don't remember what game it was that I was watching last night, but he made a throw to his left that he knew he was going to get wiped out, and it was freaking on the money. It might have been against Georgia, and the way he's running the offense and all, they've done a really good job with him. Of course, he's done a good job too, but he's a real good player and very accurate in his throws, and we're going to have to get in front of him. We're going to have to move him at times, but I'm sure they're very pleased with him because he's been awesome for them.
I guess that mean with Braille, I mean, sometimes guys say you got to go see coach. I don't know, they're thinking, wow, what did I do or something? But how did that meeting go? How excited did he seem? And how often do you do that as a head coach? Maybe call a guy in to say, hey, man, we need you this week, a little more than maybe expected.
You don't want to call them in so much that it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? But this one here is, Braylon has been a good player for us, but I wanted him to know that his opportunities are going to amp up the expectation of what he gets. I wanted to throw some juice into him a little bit, juice him up and get him ready to know this is going to be a big week for him. I meet with Taylor Green every Wednesday, and other than that, Ashton Noe came in this morning and just said he never really had formally thanked me for the scholarship opportunity, and so, but I don't. Most meetings aren't great. Most of them are ones that we got a problem. I've got to try to fix it out. But those last 3 I just said were all very positive and called them in for reasons of motivation.
Did Braylon seem pretty amped up or juiced up or whatever?
He's hard to get a read on, but I'll guarantee he was pumped up. He's ready to roll. Let's give him the football, see what happens.
And so Lebby obviously is a new guy.
Love the guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah,
great guy.
It looks like OU's missing him a little bit. Just wondering what you think of him.
No comment on that.
Just wondering how well you got to know him, and just kind of what do you think? The record's not very good, but he,
they've got a good football team. Sometimes everybody looks at a somebody's record and they go, man, well, who'd they play too, and this is his first year in there and all that, and he's playing everybody, 10 points under, whatever, and but I got to know him through, Kendall and his dad, and obviously through that, wonderful, great guy, and you could see how well the team's coached and how well the team's moving forward, and they're a scary team now to go in there and play, and the cowbells going off and all that. But I believe Mississippi State hired the right guy, and I think they're going to be really, really good this Saturday and moving forward.
Mississippi State's last in basically rushing, scoring, total defense, all those categories. Yeah. What are your thoughts on how I guess they've improved throughout the season and just basically that? Yeah.
I think ever since the Toledo game, I think they've just gotten better and better. They had some breakdowns, and giving up some scores, and you don't see that happening now. They fly to the football. They're a very physical football team. I think also after the Toledo game, I think they changed in trying to get to the quarterback. I think they've changed in number of guys in the box. I think they played a little bit more man coverage, and so I think after that Toledo game, I can see on the last 3 games how they've changed number-wise, and they're in the box, and they're getting better, and they're taking more chances on 3rd down, 2nd long, trying to get to the quarterback, and it's worked out for them.
Yeah. And I guess probably the quality of opponent playing
That's
Florida,
right.
Texas, Georgia, Texas A&M.
That's right. I mean, some guys, a lot of games are about matchups too. It's not about what was the score against this team and this team. It's about how do you match up with them. And so some of those teams you just talked about are very, very good on defense, but not as good on offense. You know what I mean? But they're very, very good. Florida, for example, turned around and handed the ball off. And they ran inside zone and stretch and were very physical and did a great job of rushing against them. Where you look at A&M, and they did a good job as well, but, different teams have different schemes, different matchups, and so you got to kind of figure out how you match up with them. And they went through a gauntlet of teams that they've played as well. We only played number 4 and number 8 back to back. I don't know what they've done, but we've had a pretty light schedule.
What's the importance of this game for you guys? Because when you look ahead a little bit, there's a bunch of ranked teams left on your schedule still.
I don't know how many SEC schools you're playing right now that aren't. You know what I mean? Just depending on if they're lower to the 25 or top to the 1. It's the league, and we're damn proud to be part of it. How important it is, I think they're all important. To go get another road win would be big for us. Get to another victory, get to 3-2 in the conference would be really big, and we certainly want that. We need that. We'll work towards that because, as you just said, you still have Ole Miss, Texas, Missouri, Louisiana Tech, and now 3 of those are at home. But this road game is big for us, and we usually play pretty good on the road.
I'm wondering if you've heard any talk in the industry about, with the helmet communications, what it's been like with the bells at Mississippi State, and have you seen on tape teams maybe struggling more with it?
Have not, and haven't heard anything about that, to be honest with you. All right, guys.